Shalom from Jerusalem. We are on day 15 of this war with Hamas, the terrorist group Hamas. Several things have happened during this last 2 days. We just finished Shabbat, so it was kind of quiet for us here in Jerusalem, but it wasn't quiet for the northern part of Israel, Lebanon, the terrorist group Hezbollah that operates from Lebanon with also the support from Iran. They have been attacking Israel with rockets and missiles and a few attacks here and there. And Israel has been responding by launching several missiles in order to destroy the sites from where they've been attacking Israel. Today was interesting also because today in Shabbat in the synagogues we read a portion from the scriptures from the Torah, from the Genesis specifically, and it's called Parashat Noah, and the reading is from Genesis chapter 6, and it says in verse 11, it says, "Now the earth was corrupt in the sight of God, and the earth was filled with violence." Violence, ladies and gentlemen, in Hebrew is Hamas. And also, there's a verse here that's in verse 5. It says, "Then the Lord saw that the wickedness of man was great on the earth, and that every intent of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually," which is terrible. It seems like Hamas, this relates a lot. This describes Hamas. Their massacre was terrible, horrendous, and what they did had not been seen since the Holocaust. Hamas, they seem to have enjoyed their massacre, their killing of so many Israelis, and they celebrated in so many ways their victory. They would take these bodies, they would shoot them, they would burn them, they would burn houses with people inside, men, women, and children, older people, and as young as 3 months. Some babies were found without their heads, which is terrible. And they would drag these young kids, these young boys and girls that had been they had been in this musical festival, and they would just drag them and throw them in the cars, and who knows what they would do to them while they were riding into Gaza. And when they would come into Gaza, they would celebrate, and it's just horrible what they did. They would torture them and abuse them, and I don't know what else they would do. But it's horrible. They really seem to have enjoyed their massacres. And then we also read in the book of Isaiah, chapter 54. Let me see if I can find it real quick. And it says, in verse 9, it says, "For this is like the days of Noah to me, when I swore that the waters of Noah would not flood the earth again. So I have sworn that I will not be angry with you, nor will I rebuke you. For the mountains may be removed and the hills may shake, but my loving kindness will not be removed from you, and my covenant of peace will not be shaken, says the Lord, who has compassion on you. And in righteousness you will be established, you will be far from oppression, for you will not fear, and from terror, for it will not come near you. And in 17 it says, no weapon that is formed against you will prosper, and every tongue that accuses you in judgment will condemn. You will condemn. So this is a part of the prophets that's read today in the synagogues, and it's Isaiah chapter 54. And so this is actually lifted up my spirit a little bit, because we see that God doesn't abandon Israel. And if you read the scriptures in Genesis chapter 6, it says we're supposed to get rid of violence. We're supposed to get the evil from the land. And Israel is preparing just for that. I don't know when we're going to invade, if it's tomorrow, after tomorrow, but it's going to be pretty soon. And it's not a question of whether we will invade. It's a question of when we will invade. So something else I wanted to report is that there's a big request of Orthodox Jews wanting to join the military. About 2,000 of them have requested this. So this is something that has ever been seen. And let's see. And so it seems like they estimate that Gaza has about still 20,000 rockets, maybe more. And but they've also identified about 550 of the rockets that have been launched from Gaza that have fallen within their territory, and many of them do kill some people, and they usually blame Israel for this. But that's 550 rockets landing in their own land. That's quite amazing. So we got to remember also that Israel will invade, and their goal is to get rid of Hamas, the terrorist group Hamas, which in the long run will liberate the people of Gaza, and it will also liberate from terrorism the people that live along the border with Gaza, as far as the city of Beersheba, the cities of Ashkelon, Ashdod, all the way to Tel Aviv. So this is a war for freedom for both people, the Arabs in Gaza and the Jews here in Israel. The big news also was that Hamas liberated or released 2 hostages, a mother and a daughter, and it seemed to be because of her health, the mother's health situation. It seems like she wasn't doing too good. But also it could be because of the 20 trucks that were allowed to go into Gaza through the border of Egypt. And unfortunately, we know in whose hands all this humanitarian aid is going to land. And there's a confirmation that about 70% of the bodies that were found dead and were recuperated by Israel, 70% of them were tortured, whether they were just killed or whether they were burned. And many of them were burnt alive. So I will be doing a report on this issue of the bodies that were burned and were found later on. With some of these bodies can't even be identified. So I will do a report on that. But I wanted to let you know that we're fine here in Jerusalem. My wife and my boys, we had a quiet Shabbat, no sirens up here. And so we ask for your prayers for the state of Israel, for the soldiers, and for the people that are being kept as hostages in Hamas, that they be released soon. And pray also for the people in Gaza. About 700,000 Arabs from Gaza have already left the northern part of the Gaza Strip to the south. Egypt won't let them in. And obviously, here in Israel, we won't let them in because this is a question of security. So they need a lot of prayer as well. There's a lot of innocent victims in all this. When Israel invades Gaza, it is going to be tough because of the hostages that are being kept. They have to be very careful not to kill them, and I'm sure that they're spread all over the northern part of Gaza. So until the next report, shalom, shalom.